Hello and welcome to our tutorial on how to connect vtspog to a streamer bot, specifically to the streamer bot YouTube point system made by Hunter. So far it has been the most robust option and better option in general to connect YouTube to like a point system of sorts. We have by default a really simple YouTube point system in vtspog. The problem is that it's only specific to the program. I'm the only person maintaining it, and it's a bit lacking in some sense, in my honest opinion. If you want to make something more complex, you can't, because it's only limited to vtspog. If you want a simple solution for that, use that system. You want to make something more robust that can be connected to other redeems on your stream, or to have like different, more complex stuff happen in your stream whenever you do a TTS redeem. This is the option for you. And it's a streamer bot. It has the complexity that implies, but we will try to see how it's set up and how to, as easily as possible, set it up in this tutorial. So let me move myself out of the way. There we go. And let's get to streamer bot. First of all, of course, you need to download streamer bot, and you need to link your YouTube account to streamer bot. Your main YouTube account should be set here in broadcaster account, and then you can optionally, and this optionally is encouraged to like do it by me, set up a bot account, mainly so you can differentiate the messages that you send as a streamer to the messages you send, the bot sends in the about the point system, right? Next thing you need to do is import the YouTube point system prepared for streamer bot. It's a series of actions and commands that you can import. You can download them from the original link, or you can use our exported version that already has everything configured for vtspog to work. If you are already using the system, you may need to just import our actions. We are going to do a separate export that only has our actions. Make sure to do a proper check and make sure it is correct for the version you are using. We are using, at the moment of this tutorial, the version 0.2.0. So make sure, if you are importing this, that is the appropriate version. If not, ask us in our Discord server or Twitter or YouTube comments, and we will try to support a new version in that version. If you don't have the system import already, just import the full version that we exported ourselves. It link is below in pointed to our docs. You can get there. There's an article in our docs, and you can download the commands to import to your streamer bot from there. Once imported, you will have a couple of things. On top, you will have the default YouTube point system actions, which are the ones that you can see here, these bottom ones, and then you will have a few extra ones that are the ones we set up for this tutorial, which are these commands here. What the YouTube point system does in particular is just tries to emulate as best as possible, similar to what we already do in vtspog with our vanilla option, just a bit more complex. They try to imitate what Twitch does in their channel point reward system, right? You have a couple of whenever someone chats in your stream, they will get added to a queue of users that will receive points every minute in that stream. You can configure the amount of points each user can get. I highly recommend checking that on the plugin action set of the original author. There's a lot of options, a lot of stuff you can check and configure. The document is the plugin page is quite in depth on how you can do that, so give it a check. It's not that complex, and it just tells you exactly where you need to do it. So if you want to like make user gain less points per minute or more points, or how frequent users gets points, if they get points in a first message or not. There's a lot of options you can add to it. We are not going to cover that because it's covered already in that doc. What you only need to know is that each user will get a set amount of points every minute. It's around like 20 by default, and they get 150 points on first message per stream. Those points get stored inside a streamer bot, and they persist between streams. So it basically behaves similar to the Twitch channel point system, except it doesn't allow you to doesn't allow lurkers to gain points. They need to chat a few times. They don't get extra points per chat message, at least by default. You can expand that if you want, but not by default. And what's important for us is that we have a way to have a channel point system to connect to vtspog or a type of redeems. In this case, TTS staff, soundboard, AI pet, and we'll do an example also with monster. Let me check what we have. So we created, on top of the stuff that comes with the channel point YouTube sim system, we created these commands. We have a command to check the redeems that we set up with vtspog. It's a command that will allow the user to use and get their list of commands that we have set in vtspog. You need to complete this command by hand, but it's neat, right? It's useful. Then we have a command for a soundboard. We use, in this example, my favorite soundbite ever, which is the goat screaming sound. I love that sound, so I added this to example. We're going to configure it together in a bit. Then we have AI talk redeem, where you can like talk to your pet and either have the pet read the original message or not, and then answer it through ChatGPT. We have also the skip current audio. This just connect to vtspog and skip the current audio. It's not particularly part of the setup for the YouTube point system, but it's neat to have just in case. You're going to have a lot of TTS being played on stream, so this can be useful for you or your mods to have access to. Remember that this can only skip the current playing audio. The audio has not started playing, it won't be skipped. So it's a bit of a reactive command, but even so, it's quite useful. So I recommend it. You can ignore it, you can delete it if you don't want it. For me, it's always useful. And then we have the normal TTS command, which is this one, TTS, just TTS at all, just normal TTS stuff. It will use your current default voice that you have in vtspog, and it will play a TTS audio. These are the commands. Let's check the actions. This is where the magic happens, right? We split the actions between, same with the commands, between the default ones and the ones that we added through vtspog for this tutorial, right? We split all the commands here. First one is the checklist of redeems. I mentioned this before. It's just a send YouTube message where you can list the commands you have set up in StreamerBot, and just put I put a format here. You can edit it whatever you like. This is just a send YouTube message, but I thought it was going to be useful. I just added all the commands that we set up in the tutorial, and I also added like the amount that they should have. I recommend, like, you are using the default setup that the YouTube point system has. I recommend probably going for like around 50 instead of 150. This is just an example. You need to do this with whatever values you end up using, but yes, this is just a reminder. Feel free to delete this one if you don't want your user to have reminders of like what redeems they have, or prefer to add it to the description, or like add a link, an image. Leave that to you guys, but just add it here just so I thought maybe people would find it useful. Then the proper commands, right? Let's go first for the most basic one. This is the TTS command. It basically, all the commands have the same general setup. You have all this part of the subaction from here till here. This is just the default configuration of the system. You will see this in all the commands as a default, and then at the bottom, whatever vtspog is going to do proper. From here, you need to only care about two things. First is this one, point cost set argument. This one basically defines how much points does your redeem cost. As I was saying before, I would recommend probably like around 50 as a default. But for now, we're going to leave it at 0, because when testing, 0 points make it so like however we trigger the command is going to go through, which we want to testing purposes, right? We're going to go through the testing of all the commands later. So yeah, for now we're going to give them 0, all of them. later, once we finish testing and everything's working in order, I recommend like updating it and tinker with the values depending on how your community behaves and what you want the interaction to be, how important you want it to be in the stream, how costly. It's a decision to each streamer, each community, so think it through. It's easy to edit, just editing the value, and that's it. So it's super quick. The other value you want to check is this one, redeem name vtspog TTS. Whenever a redeem is redeemed on a stream, a streamer bot will send a message through your bot account, and if you don't have a bot account configured in YouTube, it will send a message through your normal account, and it will say like, so and so on, redeem this redeem with the name whatever, and it costs so many points, and they now have this amount of points. It's a good way for the user to know how many points they have after the redeem. The users also have access by default to this system through a command which is exclamation point points, so they can also access check their points through there. But by default, whenever they do a redeem, they're going to get a reminder of how many points they have. When that happens, this name will show up, so make sure to edit for each redeem if you like want the redeems to be named something else, or you want to like clone the redeems to be like something specifically different from the default ones that we are sharing, right? Apart from that, this is an important line. This is going to be, we're going to check always the last lines on each of the redeems, because those are the specifically vtspog centric ones. Everything else is default behavior from this point system plugin set of actions. So in this case, all the redeems are connected to vtspog to our local API. vtspog runs locally and has a way for other programs to connect to it. That's how MixitUp, Tangia, or StreamerBot can connect to vtspog to send further events and tell vtspog, oh, play this audio, do this, do that. Where we have like a pretty simple way for all programs to connect to, and this is the line. You want more in-depth explanation on how the local API works, you can check it on our documentation, but it comes ready to go. Basically, by default, this will take the user message when they use the command exclamation mark TTS, will send the response message to vtspog. vtspog will play it using your default voice for TTS pets, and then it will play like any other, like it will do on Twitch, or like it will do when you play the play test in settings in vtspog, right? Simple as that. The next command we're going to check is the AI one. The AI one will, of course, you need to have ChatGPT enabled in vtspog. You need to have your OpenAI account connected. We have tutorials for that over on YouTube. You can check that, or on the documentations. You need to have your ChatGPT account connected. You need to have created your account, same as any other ChatGPT interaction that we allow in vtspog. So make sure you have everything there connected already, and that your pet can talk to you, can like answer back when you type in the personality page of the AI pet. After that, it will send the request that the user sends to vtspog to be processed by ChatGPT and then read out loud by vtspog using whatever voice you have set up for your pet, or by the different pet if you have the multi-pet for the AI enabled. The other thing important here is this here. We have here the set argument prompt to choose. Set arguments are a way for, same as with the redeem name that we mentioned before. The set argument is a way to set up like a specific value, a specific variable, an argument in StreamerBot. In this case, this sets up how the pet answers to, reacts to the message. Because when vtspog receives any chat GPT request, they can also include the original person's message alongside the answer. It will have, it will read aloud the first message, either by saying the username or just the message itself, and then it will answer the redeem. That also like gets split into more behaviors if you have the multi-pet enabled or not. We have tutorials about that and stuff in our documents, but that's pretty much the gist of it. And you can set that up here. If you set it to put this in 0, it will just read the reaction. It won't read the original message. You put it at 1, it will read the original message and then jump into the reaction. And you put a 2, it will read first the original message, you saying the username out loud. They will say like, oh, everyone sell whatever, and the pet will answer their answer. We'll also include the username who sent the message. For default, I will leave it at 2, so you know who is the user that sent the request. But keep in mind, in YouTube, sometimes people have their URL name, or like they have not so funny or appropriate names as on Twitch. In Twitch, they have non-appropriate names, but it's part of the Twitch culture. People in YouTube go to YouTube to streams, sometimes without setting their account specific for that kind of thing, contrary to Twitch. So you may want to put it at 1 or 0, depending on how comfortable you are with that behavior, like basically calling people out loud on your stream. So keep it in mind. Feel free to put it on 1 or 0, this thingy here, if you feel that it's going to be an issue. Apart from that, it will just send the message through vtspog, ChatGPT will process it, and it will read it aloud as any other AI request. Then we have the soundboard. vtspog, at the moment of this recording, doesn't have a way to access the soundboard through the API, mainly because it has other ways to do similar things without the soundboard in particular, and it was an overlook we did when we were setting up the last updates to the API. Eventually, we will add that to the local API too, but it doesn't change much of the behavior because you can send audio files to be played at vtspog without issues. So this thing in particular sends this redeem will send the audio file you set up here to be played on vtspog by your soundboard pet if you have it split. If you don't have it split, it will be read by your normal pet. In this redeem, the important variable argument is this one here. This will be setting up which is the audio file that will be read. This basically needs to be pointing out to an audio in your PC. In this example, as I was saying before, I'm using one of my favorite audios ever, which is the goat sound screaming. Let me show you real quick how you can get that file path, right? Because this looks like a mess. You don't know how to set it up. Just go to your audio folder, wherever you have it. Then you click here up top, right? Here. And you can copy this part of the text. Go here, you select everything, you paste it. At the end, you add another backwards slash, and then you just copy the name of the file. Make sure you also copy the extension if you have it, you don't have it visible. So you need to like point, for example, in my case, I'm going to search for my goat audio file, goat scream sound effect. So I'm going to copy everything. I have extensions enabled in my PC, but if you don't have them enabled, you will need to like type at the end .mp3, .wav, whatever is the format of the audio file. Okay? And this one is also ready to go. Last one, but not least, is the TTS Monster redeem. We set up a redeem specifically for TTS Monster because TTS Monster has a really specific way of dealing with TTS redeems. It has a really interesting way, to be honest, where they allow you to put some bytes between different voices of the TTS, so you can have like more complex redeem. It's quite fun if your chat likes it and learns how to use it. My chat has a lot of fun with it, so I always have a TTS Monster specific redeem enabled for that. I have that on Twitch. We have that by default as an option on vtspog on Twitch. So I was like, okay, we probably need to add an option for that on the YouTube point system example. So I added that. This basically sets up the TTS to be TTS Monster. It has set the voice by default to Brian. You can change this voice to be whatever other voice of TTS Monster that you like to use. No matter what voice you put here, if your chat changes the voice in the text using the TTS Monster syntaxis, is going to be replaced. But you have a voice that you prefer this redeem to use every time, you can set this up here. This also works for any other TTS system, and you can see here you can set the TTS system to whatever TTS system vtspog supports now or in the future, once we keep on adding them. So If you want to use a specific voice for a specific redeem, a specific system for that redeem, you can go over to our docs, link below in the description, and you can check our documentation on the local API where we list all the voices and all the VTS system we support and how to configure these 2 parameters. So check that out. And if it's not clear enough, feel free to always come to our Discord server. We are always happy to help you setting stuff up for vtspog. With that, everything is ready. Small caveat, when you import everything for the YouTube vtspog stuff, you may have some of the commands disabled. If they come disabled, make sure to enable them and to also make sure they are all configured so they trigger by YouTube message. Sometimes they get imported the commands as Twitch or without any triggers at all, so make sure they are set here in this thingy to be only YouTube. For example, there, I was using the skip for Twitch, so you may have it enabled for Twitch too if I exported incorrectly, which may happen. But yeah, make sure to check everything. Make sure like the commands that are only mod only for the YouTube system are set to mod only. They should all be ready to go by default, but give it a check just in case. We are human. With that, let's go over to the other screen. So we are going to test out all the redeems and make some clarifications. Okay, here we are now on the actual stream in order to test out all of our commands. Keep in mind that all of these point system thingies, they only work while you are live. StreamerBot can only detect your messages, your commands, if you are currently live. Thankfully, you can be live in a hidden stream, so quite easier at least to test out. So you just need to like create a new stream on YouTube, set it up as hidden, and wait a couple of seconds after going live to that stream in order for StreamerBot to start detecting your messages / commands properly. Thankfully, by being a hidden stream, you can send your link to your mods or trusted users, members of your communities or friends, and ask them to help you test out all the redeems and maybe the point values later down the line while you have everything working. But first of all, let's test that everything is working properly. So we are going to first test out our VTS redeem, which is the basic one, the first one we set up before. So we're going to go with VTS. Hello there.
Hello there.
There we go. As you can see, StreamerBot, when it detected the message and the point system detected that they have enough points in order to do the redeem, it sent a message using my bot account that I have configured in StreamerBot that is telling me that detected a command, a redeem, I have valid points, and what's my current new points total. That's how you can know that the redeem went through, right? If you don't see that message, it means that the command didn't get processed. The reason can vary, but it's dependent on this YouTube point system, not on vtspog. So make sure you have enough points in the account, that the amount of points that the redeem needs is enough, and that you are in a valid stream, right? If you are live, you wait a couple of seconds and to make sure the bot connected, StreamerBot connected properly, and that you set the point value to something that you can pay, right? But with that, that's it for it to work. We're going to test out all the other redeems too. You will see my other pets start talking, YC for the soundboard and Ugo for the AI one, and we are going to just make sure everything is working properly after setting it up, right? So let's go with talk, which is the one for the AI, and hey Ugo, tell me something fun. You will see now the message in chat. There we go. Now redeem will be processed.
Hey,
there we
Ruben
go.
says, hey Ugop, tell me something fun.
Did you know honey never spoils?
Archaeologists found pots of honey in ancient Egyptian tombs that are over 3,000 years old. Just like your gameplay, Iruben, it's ancient and still somehow disappoints. All hail P.O.G Online Poggers.
I love Boogop. As you can see, we have the prompt set up in 2, which means first Pogu-kun will read the original prompt, the original message I sent, and then Ugop will read the answer. So that one is working properly. Let's go to the first one, the next one, which is the soundboard one, which we have with Goat. And then we can hear YC's dulcet tones serenading us. And lastly, we have the TTS Monster Redeem. Remember that the TTS Monster Redeem is actually also an example of how to set up redeems with arbitrary TTS, voices, / systems. So you can replace that with any of the valid values that you can find in our docs. So you can set it up also so they use a specific voice always with the redeem. You don't want to use like the TTS monster stuff, right? Just in case. So we're going to send one that says nom, which I love that sound, and then we shout the hellhole with P.O.G Online Poggers. There we go. P.O.G Online Poggers. There we go. Message. Redeem processed. And now we wait for TTS Monster to process the audio.
P.O.G Online Poggers.
There we go. P.O.G say the redeem. Everything is working. Also to keep in mind is that on vtspog there's this option. Let me tell you the name in particular. You go to text-to-speech, soundboard. There's an option that says replace normal TTS. If you have that option enabled, any text-to-speech redeem that contains as the whole text a keyword for a specific audio will play that audio instead of saying that word as the TTS. For example, if I send a TTS with trend, which is a keyword for one of the audios that I have set up on my soundboard, you will hear YC doing a trend sound. Because why not? But that's another way you can set up so that you can have like the soundboard redeem if you want your users to like trigger specific soundboard files with the TTS. We don't have to like set up the audio file in StreamerBot and do like a specific redeem for a specific audio. I would say maybe setting up the specific redeem for a specific audio will be better. It's simpler for the end user, but more work for you. So consider whatever is better for your community. The last command that I almost forgot to test out is the redeems command. Remember, we set up a command to have a message sent with all the redeems that we have available. So if we do our redeems, we'll have the bot account send a message that says available redeems, parenthesis cost, with all the redeems that we listed there. Remember, you need to add those redeems manually. They don't get added automatically. And remember that if you change the values of all the redeems, you need to also update them here manually. This is just a message that it sends. I just added it to the list of commands that the actions that come with the tutorials, just so it's easier for you guys. But it's just a send YouTube message command, right? So remember to update it manually later. Also, after you finish testing everything, remember to change the values of all the redeems from the default 0 that they come in the tutorial to like whatever value you want to use in your streams, right? So make sure to update all of those later. And with that, that's it. We have the redeems working, point system implemented, and everything ready to go. Again, remember the stream needs to be live, and you can also use a hidden stream to test stuff out. So if you don't want to go a YOLO and test everything live on stream, you can just use a hidden stream to like test everything and make sure everything's working properly. Yeah, I hope this is useful for you guys. If you set this up and you make something cool with it, just remember to tag me on Twitter, either me, the vtspog account, use the hashtag vtspog, put vtspog somewhere in the message. I will try to find it because I love seeing what you guys make. And also make sure to leave a comment or send a message in Discord server or on Twitter if you want to have another tutorial with a specific setup or usage of program. I always try to give it a look depending on my time and how generally useful it is for other users. The tutorial try to like make them. Mostly if they are fun for me too, right? I love testing out new setups like this one. This specific point system for StreamerBot is so cool. I'm going to start using it in my YouTube streams too. So yeah, looking forward to experimenting myself more with this because it's super cool. Thanks so much everyone for being here. Yeah, see you guys later. Bye bye.